So here we are looking at teaching your young horse to pick up its feet. Now, what I want to do is I want to be very careful not to drop the foot on the floor again. And I want to be very careful not to hang on to the foot for too long for the horse. I also want to be careful not to squeeze the horse's tendons or in any way hurt the horse picking up its foot. So what I'm doing is I'm running my hand down and I'm asking for the foot without squeezing, without pinching, without doing anything unpleasant. And I'm holding onto it gently and I'm trying to put it down just before I think the horse is going to take it away from me. Right there, and then I place it back down. I don't want to drop it because I don't want it banging down on the toe, which it is likely to do, and that is likely to hurt. So I think that's a really bad idea. Anything we do with these young horses that hurts is a very bad idea. Now that was his first time and he did really well. Now I'm slowing this down for you. This time he kicks at me a couple of times. Right there, he kicked at me. And there as well. And this is it. The same thing that he's doing, kicking at me from a different angle. He kicks quite a long way backwards. So in order to help him with that, I'm going to use the lariat. Now you can use a soft rope here if you like. That also works really well and it's quite nice on his leg. I find the lariat is easier to get around their legs. This horse, you know, this is one of his very first lessons. He's very young since arriving here, so he hasn't done much at all. He hasn't been habituated to having anything around his legs. So this is the first time. So I don't want to actually get too close. And I'm probably not as good as a lot of people are with putting my rope into a loop and then getting the horse to step into the loop. A lot of people are very good like that. Mine is less elegant, but it does the trick. So again, I don't want to cause him any, harm at all. I want this to be a pleasant experience. I'm trying to habituate him to having the rope around his leg. I'm trying to get him used to having somebody pick his leg up like that. If you find that your horse is very kicky, if he's an older horse and he's been kicking for a while, this is a good idea to do this. What you might also want to do is just slowly take your hand closer to his foot. So I take this rope off in a sec, but it might be a good idea if you've got a horse that is very kicky to stay with the rope so that your hand gets closer and closer to his foot until eventually your hand is on his foot and then you just drop the rope like that. For this young horse, that doesn't seem necessary to me at all. He seemed quite comfortable with it then now. And so I'm just going to go straight to picking it up again. So we'll see how it goes with this. Good. And that's it. For the first time, that's it. That's all you need to do. You don't need to do more than that. And you often see farriers jumping around or horses jumping around stable yards attached to farriers, and really it shouldn't be necessary. What we're trying to teach them is that we're going to pick up your foot, we're going to hold on to it for a short time, and we're going to place it gently back on the ground. And so we just teach them to wait until we put the foot back. Now this video is 8 minutes long and you're seeing the whole lesson that this horse has. If your horse has more experience, like it's an older horse and it's had some bad experiences with its feet, then you probably want to break this lesson down a bit more. So ways in which you could do that might be to the first day you come out, you might just rub your hands down its legs, all of its legs. Everything we teach, I always teach a pattern, and this is no different. And so the start of the pattern that you want to teach will be, I rub my hand down your leg, you don't move it, and then I praise you for doing that. And with each of the 4 legs, you want to be able to do that. If you can't get down to the cannon bone or to the pastern on the hind feet, then don't try and go there straight away, because it's it's dangerous. So what we need to do is we need the horse to understand that he's not going to be hurt. And that's what we call confidence, knowing what's going to happen next, knowing you're not going to get hurt. So if the horse understands that all you do is you pat down its rump, maybe to its hock or something, and then you come back to the front of the horse and you tell him he's brilliant, he's going to be confident with that. And so he'll allow you to take that further and further down his leg, but do it progressively. Never surprise him. And I think when we do hang on to the legs, not that, personally, I couldn't, even with a weanling this size, if he wanted to take his foot away, he would take his foot away. And I don't want to lose that argument with the horse. I don't want to have an argument with the horse to start with, but I certainly don't want to lose that argument. One of us could get hurt. It's just not worth it. So don't set yourself up to fail like that. Right there, he had a little jump, and I'm looking for a place that I can put it down. There, the first time I've touched my knee on his fetlock, and that's great. So again, we know what we need. We know we need the farrier to be able to file this horse's feet. So, that is going to be necessary. So how can we break it down? How can we get me in closer? Just step by step, doing a little tiny bit so the horse doesn't get overwhelmed, doesn't get frightened, and understands the whole process. It doesn't really matter, does it, whether you're teaching how to pick up your feet or flying changes. You want a confident horse, a horse that really understands the lesson. So as I say, it was an 8-minute lesson. You've seen pretty much all of it. And I did this over 3 days for this little horse. And I would say he's probably 10 minutes away from being able to see the farrier for the first time.